No.
Yup. Okay, welcome to the Atrioc broadcast here on what's today, the 9th? September 9th? Wow, it's almost 9/11. Never forget. 9/9. September 9. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, you like this hat? Oh, this hat has market cap on it? I guess it is like a really funny, clever hat. I guess it probably is a really cool hat. Like if I was interested in that, I guess I would go to failedco's.co in like 2 weeks and I would buy it. That's what I would do. But that's just me. That's just me. Not really specifically you. That's just me. Good to see you, Mr. Royal Spade. Thank you for the 5 months. Finally free at the right time to catch a stream. Yes, indeedy, feed the needy. You know what I'm saying? Finally free at the right time. And what's great is that I'm always live at this time. So I don't know why you missed every other stream. I wear my EBITDA hat when I go to poker and people think I work in accounting. What's wrong with that? Working in accounting is the coolest thing. Everyone goes, God, I wish I didn't work in fashion or or consecration, or I wish I worked in accounting. Everyone says that. The accounting is like the sexiest job. People think, whoa, you're an accountant? Please, riz me up. Thanks for the kind message today, Big A. Could you also scroll up at DMs and check the invoices? I thought the kind message was me paying you for your work. Are you telling me you also want cash? I said good job. I said you're doing a good job. Why do I have to also pay you cash? How the fuck is that fair? I have to do both? Feels like I'm getting screwed here. Okay, I'll pay it. Continue to payments. Can I do custom mount and just pay half? Why is it asking me for a fucking tip? You want me to tip you? Why does it have a fucking tip attached? Can I put a negative tip? You ever seen those receipts where they it's like a restaurant bill and they write a negative tip and then put the total to 0? That's math. That's math. Atrioc would do that. Atrioc does do that. I have done that. Mr. I'm going to go live and have a social extravaganza. First of all, don't ever use my own words against me. Ever, okay? It's very crass. It's very tactless is what it is. Secondly, fucking podcast recording took a long time. We had some tech issues too. Thirdly, then I went on Ludwig's stream and I had to explain fucking algorithms to him, okay? Because he's 30 plus and he's dumb and old. So I had a lot to do. I'll tell you that. He really explained it to you? He didn't explain shit to me. Let's keep it a fucking stack. Let's keep it 100 racks, dude. I like Ollie's. Thank you for the prime. Thank you for the prime. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Silent Generation Atrioc? Dude, it's so funny you say that. Because tomorrow's lemonade stand is all about generational warfare. We had a hat with every generation in it, and we would draw them out randomly and then list all the pros and cons and decide if you would switch your life to be born in that generation. It's pretty fun. I learned quite a bit about the silent generation that I did not know. Or actually, I'm sorry, about the greatest generation that I didn't know. Thoughts on Russia? What about them? That I haven't said already. Thank you for the 15 months. Is there something new? All hail King CPM. Thank you for the 13 months. Little Toasty, they have 7 months. Any advice for spotting or avoiding predatory loans for someone who has no clue about loans? Yeah, it's simple. If you're using the loan to buy Twitch subs for your favorite streamer, it's a good loan. It's not predatory. If you're using it for pretty much anything else, it probably is a predatory loan. It probably is trying to steal your cash, your hard-earned cash. Honestly, it's really not that difficult. You just have to make sure you're understanding what your interest payment is. What are you paying on? Like, if I'm borrowing $100, what am I paying on top of the $100 that I'm eventually giving back for the right to borrow this money? And if you understand this, then you can compare and contrast different loan opportunities and see what you're getting. But a lot of times they try to hide it. Holy shit, Jeff Kimmerson. What the fuck? I'm glad you took out a high interest loan, a 48% loan shark loan to drop those 200 gifted subs. God damn, bro. I hope that was on Klarna. Jeff Kimmerson, do you have a message? I simply must read it. Jeff Kimmerson, user Jeff Kimmerson. Did you have a message that you wanted read? You said, I Klarna'd these subs. Okay, well, I hope not, actually. I hope not. But you're the guy who said people think you work in accounting, so maybe you're just one big at poker or something. That's very funny. That's very funny. No chargebacks, buddy. So really, if you Klarna'd them, you've actually technically gifted 50 subs a week for the next 4 weeks. So I'll keep thanking you for the next. You've bought it on loan. Thank you for the 10 months, Red Master. You're still the only one I've subbed to, but you don't say hi back. Suspicious. Hi back. Hi back to you. Did you see the Silk Song early game nerfs? Bro, I fucking called it. Did I not call it dead to rights? Someone find the clip. I called it. I said, if they lose overwhelmingly positive, they will nerf the early game. Doesn't matter what they say, they will do it because that's, and then they lost overwhelmingly positive, and I was like, oh, they'll do it. And they did it. They did it instantly. However, I looked into it. We're going to play it later today. The only 2 bosses they nerfed, I've already beaten. So I have to just keep outrunning the nerfs. Because I'm quite sure if they've broken the seal once, they can do it again. So, like, we're only T-minus a week away from them nerfing more bosses. So I have to just keep outrunning. And I think I'll be able to get there. I do have to lock in and play more. I wanted to play all day today, but shit happened. I can play a lot tomorrow. I know you're going to say copium, but I think I can, actually. I can play a lot tomorrow. I really do want to. What do they nerf? Not the first 2 bosses, but 2 early bosses. Shadow Sister and Glupshido, I think, were the big 2. Glupshido got a bad nerf. Glupshido got glupped right in the shido, as they say. So I would watch out if you were a big fan of that guy. He wasn't even hard. I don't know. People say Club Shitter was pretty hard. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? So we're gonna do a presentation here in just a minute about what's going on in Nepal, which is actually extremely fascinating and I think relevant to other countries all around the world, including this one that we live in. Well, maybe you don't live in here, but whichever country you live in, honestly, it's pretty relevant. So we'll talk about it. Rancid Bread, thank you for the 20 months. Before then, I wanted to shoot the shit and talk with you guys for a bit. Possibly also watch this Voidzilla thing. Now, we have talked about this already, but I trust Coffeezilla to find any details that I did not include or mention about the new birthday book reveal about Epstein. He is the world's foremost Epstein journalist right now. The French gave Silk Song a 7 out of 10. Let me see this. Review: Hollow Knight Silk Song, a sequel made out of silk. What a stupid fucking headline. And they gave it a 7 out of 10. Their government is collapsing. Okay, they're taking hurt people. They're taking it out on the rest of us. What a fucking French thing to do. Sorry, it doesn't have enough fucking baguettes in it. They're really getting on my nerves. I was very pro France because of the nuclear energy. But this is the last straw. You know what it is? Oh my God, you know what it is? Let's be real. It's a French publication wanting to do whatever they can to hurt the Metacritic score so that Silk Song doesn't knock Exhibition 33 off the Game of the Year list. It's like, well, it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's decent. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's no Exhibition 33. It's no Exhibition 30. We could all agree that was the Game of the Year, but this is a fucking psyop, dude. I see what's happening, France. Don't try to fucking... It's literally only 2 options this year. It does seem like it'll be down to those 2. It does seem like it'll be Silk Song or Exhibition 33. I maintain, by the way, while I'm doing predictions here, since I already nailed the Silk Song nerf, Silk Song will lose Game of the Year at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards to Exhibition 33. Exhibition 33 is the most Jeff Keighley game I've ever seen. He will give it the fucking W win. It will win. Silk Song will be screwed. It's not fair. Well, I haven't finished Exhibition 33, so I can't even say, but that's what will happen. Facts. Good Kid, Mad City lost the Grammy too. Fucking well said, dude. Well said. Doesn't actually matter. It turns out that whether or not a game I like wins Jeff Keighley's The Game Award does not impact me as much as I thought. I thought I would be devastated if a game I like didn't win Jeff Keighley's The Game Award, but it turns out it didn't really affect me in any fucking way. Dark Horse, Slay the Spire 2. It won't win, I don't think, but damn, I am deeply excited for Slay the Spire 2. I'm excited for Slay the Spire 2 almost as much as Silk Song, only because Slay the Spire 2 is Slay the Spire 1 is a very pivotal game between me and my wife. We both love it. And we play it, and we watch each other play it, and it's like it's a relationship thing for us. Slay the Spire 2 is gonna be really fun. My wife, we're gonna play it together. It'll be fun. It'll be like a really interesting thing to do. Cute? Why? I don't know. She just likes it. I like it. So, like, we together beat Ascension 20. We did it one at a time. We did 1, then 2, then 3. We alternated. It was really fun. Why such a fancy shirt? I don't think it's that fancy, but I was just recording the pod. Hey, Truck. I'm a male or female aged 16 to 45 living in the Western or Eastern Hemisphere who doesn't or doesn't have a job. Do you have any advice for me? Look your best and feel your best with a brand new market cap hat from Big A Enterprises. You can buy this at failedcos.co. It's funny, it's stylish, and it's incredible. Get one of these and it'll surely improve your life, love, sex appeal, and financial literacy. Not yet available, but coming out soon. Bop, bop, ba-da-bop, bop, bop, ba-da-bop. Hey, Truck, will it make my ass fatter? Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure. People will say, damn, look at that yacht if you're wearing one of these. Bought? Insta. Fucking Insta, dude. Insta. If I buy 2, does it stack? Oh, yeah. You got 10 of these on your head? Your ass is blocking out the sun. If you buy, I just got a government job. My plan is to ride it out for 30 years and get a pension. Am I giving up 2 money, not going to the private sector? I mean, usually you're giving up some money for the gain of stability. That's the idea of the government job. So if stability appeals to you, if you like the stability of one job, one location, a pension, then government jobs are great. If you want to maximize dollars, then usually it's better private sector. But right now, I mean, private sector jobs are evaporating. So, and by the way, stability has been in Elon Musk could come in and fire you, I guess, at a moment's notice. But in normal times, it's pretty stable. I mean, Elon Musk is gone. Doge did not last very long. It is very difficult to actually cut anything in government. Put this in basketball terms for me. I can't. Doesn't really apply. Kiovaval, they give it 26 months. Happy 26, Mr. Streamer. I don't know when the next time you're doing job interviews is, but I work in fine dining as a pastry cook. That sounds very interesting. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I had someone I really wanted to be as part of it, and it's hard to organize. But I'm working on it. And so hopefully we can find a time. Can't promise nothing. Thank you for the 22 months, Poogers. 21 months for Neopet 99999. Is this a Neopets reference? It would be an honor to be fired by Elon Musk. My only wish for it would be for him to give me a firm handshake and a smile as I walk out. That interaction is one many would pay for, and I get it for free. So fucking based and so fucking true. The honor of getting fired by Elon Musk is greater than any job could provide. I don't need a paycheck, dude. I need Elon Musk to check me out as I walk away with my stuff in a box. As he puts down the sink to $1 million versus getting fired by Elon versus dinner with Jay-Z. A true difficult battle. Thank you for the 20 months. Probably not clip worthy, but is there anything unique about the BLS numbers other than economy bad? I'll tell you what's fucking unique about the BLS numbers other than economy bad. The jobs growth was just revised down $911,000 jobs. The largest downward revision ever. Ever. There's never been a larger downward revision. And this is for the year ending in March, which means this goes through, most of the months this is talking about are during Biden's term. Which means the job growth in, let's say, I don't know, if I was picking a random fucking month. If I was picking a random fucking month out of nowhere, I would say the job growth, ladies and gentlemen, in, let's say, for example, September of last year was actually way lower than the headlines were saying. And I wonder if anyone possibly pointed that out at the time. Because this 1 year later million job revision is rather interesting. Anyway, no, I don't have anything deeper to say about it other than what I said in the clip. It's bad. It's bad. What do you mean? The jobs growth is bad. It's bad for the economy. I guess the main question is whether or not, because they're openly saying they're going to fire people until they get the numbers they want. You know what I'm saying? They're saying every time there's a bad jobs report now, they're like, it's because of the woke left people working in the government. And so they're just, eventually we might get some great numbers, but how can you trust it? Like that's the problem. Once the BLS is untrustworthy, not just wrong, because they are consistently wrong, but it's hard to do, right? But if they are openly like trying to fit a narrative, well, that becomes problematic. That becomes problematic. Hey, thanks for the 32 months, Pajaroro. I don't think you mentioned it, but I'm experiencing Oh, that is a good takeaway. Wait, thank you, PDX Dario. You guys probably don't even remember this, but there was this incredible period, this brief period in like late 21, 22 era where it was like nobody wants to work anymore and jobs couldn't hire anybody. So they had to offer like benefits and wage gains, and they had to like, because everyone could just quit or go somewhere else. There were so many jobs. There's a plurality of jobs. Well, now that there are no jobs, managers are realizing the power they wield again. They are no longer afraid of the employees quitting or leaving. They are fully able to be tyrants because everyone's afraid of losing their job and can't find another job. And so, it's difficult to lower wages once they've already been hit, but like they're being more tyrannical about return to office, tyrannical about hours, tyrannical about, and I'm sure many people are experiencing this, that the power has shifted back in favor of the employer. It's been this way for a little bit while, but it's pretty bad. And so people are feeling this. Finally, a W for the hardworking managers. I mean, the managers is technically also in the same position. The manager is afraid of losing his job to the executive. And the executive is really afraid of losing his job to the fucking CEO and the board. So, why do managers care though? Like, CEO don't know you, little bro. We in this together. Part of it is the human condition that if you give a person a scrap of power, they cling to it like a fucking feudal lord. Some people are poor at handling any bit of power. Second is that I think you are underestimating the pressure managers are put under to hit certain targets. So if the executive says you have to hit this certain profitability number, or you have to hire or fire this many people, or you have to have this level of customer performance review, whatever, like there's some KPI you have to hit, key performance indicator, then the manager is under stress to do whatever it takes to make that possible. So there's a bit of column A, bit of column B is what I'll say. And also the general idea of shit rolls downhill, right? If the guy above you is like really riding your ass to get something done, then usually you are now riding someone else's ass. And this is not a gay metaphor. This is about, This is about pressure within a corporate system. Um, Wait, what? My workplace is moving to 5 days a week return to office and is selling work from home for 1 day a month for a $180 donation to charity. You have to buy your work from home and you can only get 1 day a month? That's crazy. Pay to win? Dude, that is actually wild because it's like a gotcha mechanic. It's like how they get you addicted to the gameplay and then make you pay to speed time up. Dude, imagine if every day at work you could like donate money to go home early or something. But it's like above the cost of your paycheck that would be at the time. Shit, I'd be so fucking broke. I know. Isn't that funny though? The idea that like they could use the gotcha mechanic for speeding things up. Or you could pay for a longer bathroom break or something. I shouldn't give them ideas, dude. This could be crazy. This could be crazy. This is working hourly. It's kind of like working hourly. It's kind of like that. But what I'm saying is it would be above and beyond your hourly wage, your average hourly wage. Because otherwise, that would just be flexibility on your part, which is actually not what they would want. It would be like you're paying extra. Custardy 9517. They go to 14 months. In Victoria, Australia, we're looking to pass mandatory 2 days work from home a week. That's interesting. I personally, maybe I'm biased, but that is what I think is the best form of work from home. 2 days a week, Monday and Friday. I think work from office 3 days a week, Monday and Friday, you get the flexibility. I think hybrid is the GOAT system. It allows new people that are young to still learn from the veterans, but it allows people who are more mature in their careers to be able to handle chores and kids and life and all the shit that comes with not having to be in the office fucking 8 hours a day. I also think though, this is a white collar job privilege take, and I will say it, but I low key think that the workday hours are stupid. I think 8 hours doesn't make any sense. Like it, and I mean that from a pure like capitalist efficiency standpoint. I mean just getting the most out of the employee. I literally think the rush hour traffic, 8 hours rush hour traffic is not effective. That like, if it was like, I don't know, 10 to 3, 10 to 4, but they just focused in on actually the things you need to do in person with collaborative other people, and then everything else is outside. I think that'd be better. But I understand that is, yeah, whatever. That's why we need dorms at office. There we go. Now we're talking. I think everyone should have a bed at their desk. And there should be like an electric prod that makes sure that you don't sleep too long, but you can still instantly sleep and then get back to work. And you can't leave for food. You press a button at your desk and a trough of slop is delivered to you so you can eat it while you work. That would be fucking sick. Is it good slop? No, the food slop isn't good, but everyone gets a mandatory second monitor that plays anime slop to keep you passive and fucking entertained. Okay? What anime is playing though? I don't know. The one that you guys like. The good one. The good one that you guys like. One Piece, yeah. Hmm. But I don't like One Piece. Well, then you get Freerin. Okay? Those are your only two choices. Those are only two choices. Um, uh, How does he pander so clean? It's the go. It just takes a goat. It just there's nobody quite on my level. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody quite on my level. Wait. Let me get the air on in here. It's fucking hot. It's fucking hot. It is fucking hot in this goddamn room. It is fucking hot. Hey, we got a 1 out of 10 on the main channel today with the Shark Tank video. Shout outs to Quack Editing. Bro. I think we need a different thumbnail on the clip today. Need better thumbo, I think. YouTube is dead, bro. Ludwig and Linus said so in their streams. I was on Ludwig's stream. I was talking about this. So apparently, longer form YouTube videos are having their views fall off. And I was like, that's a bunch of fucking copium. That's what I said. I said, that's copium. That's what people say when their fucking content sucks. But then it happened. Look, bro. This is, look, bro. We got hit with it. You can't see. Come, I can't zoom. Look, green line is desktop viewers. Blue line is mobile viewers. Right here in August, right here, all the desktop viewers disappear. Like they got halved. Isn't that fucking weird? This is Lemonade Stand. So, like, here's the thing. Patreon viewership was up. Spotify viewership was up. All audio viewership was up. Revenue was the same. Likes were the same. But desktop viewership got cut in half. Right there. That's weird. So I don't know. That was a strange, like normally I wouldn't believe it, but I saw this graph and I was like, well, that's odd. That's not how it normally behaves. Like I've had periods where like my main channel videos go down or whatever, but it's like this whole thing going down at once, not one form cutting in half. So that was weird. I don't know. It was weird. Back to school was crazy. I don't think it's back to school, but I guess it could be. You'd think with back to school, the mobile would also, or the Spotify would, or anything, you know, or you'd lose patrons or whatever. But did they change some rule or something? Well, my theory, Ludwig had his own theory that it's about like turning off idle viewership, anyone that's watching but not looking at it or whatever. Maybe it's that. But I also think it's like a push towards shorts because at this exact same time right here, the graph, look, we've been uploading shorts on Big A forever and they've always done like fine. You know, they've been fine. But then right here, our shorts views on Big A go fucking crazy. They go nuts. Like even old shorts got like a million new. It's like, so I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't understand. Um, I don't know what's happening, but it is unique. Unique New York for sure. Um, However, I will say, I have seen zero loss in desktop viewers on Big A, but it's shorter videos. Like, there's absolutely no change between August and previous month. It's the same. Oh, it's grown actually. Um, so I don't know. That was just a lemonade stand thing. I don't understand. Um, but there's no way it's natural. It doesn't look natural at all. I'll say that. There's clearly something changed. I don't know what or why or whether it's going to be permanent, but something unnatural happened because the viewership doesn't diverge like that so suddenly. It didn't happen like on other channels I've had in August of last year. You know, it's not like a normal school thing. Um, ba ba da ba ba da 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 da. Anyway, it's not a big deal. Um, it's not. I mean, the revenue's the same, so I don't know if I got care. They deleted all the woke viewers. We wouldn't have a damn one left. We wouldn't have a damn viewer left, dude. Um, Linus has 2 vids on this topic. Um, cool. Guy Fiota, thank you for the 7 months. Mr. Atrioc, as the world's biggest Hunter X Hunter fan, real fans say the X, how do you feel about more chapters releasing? I personally am so involved in the Hunter X Hunter, real fans say the X again, fandom that I've already created my own headcanon about what's going to happen. So I don't need to read the chapters, okay? Like, I'm already so sure that Hisoka is going to be a big part of the plot going forward. And Gon is going to be gone, okay, when he gets through with him. So, like, I don't have to fucking, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to fucking read the fucking chapters. I have my own fucking... I know, dude. I'm so deep in the lore. It's like when everyone guessed how Game of Thrones was going to end, and it was better than the actual writing. God, I wish they had just stolen the fucking fan fictions. It would have been a better ending. Unironically, Big A would like One Piece. You don't know me that well to say that. You don't know me that well to say that. You're not close enough in my brain to say that. I think you'd be disappointed. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I think if we were to watch One Piece together, you'd constantly be looking over at me, waiting for me to crack a smile. And I would be frowning. I would not be having a good time, okay? And that is I would be not enjoying myself. I would probably fall asleep. And then when you look away, I'd be on my phone a little bit, and then you look back, and you're not even paying attention. You're missing the important stuff. And I have to put my phone away, but then I'd fucking feel resentful. Literally, I've done this. Everyone's done this, bro. Everyone's done this. Nah, but you'd love episode 623, man. Oh, okay. So I just got to get through episode 600, the first 622 episodes, and then then it'll click. Then I'll fucking go nuts. Like once I see Law tell Luffy not to underestimate the four emperors, I'm gonna go fucking crazy. Once that happens, I'm gonna fucking go. I'm gonna be like, damn, this is peak. This shit is peak. Because here's the thing, I've always been one to underestimate the four emperors. And I never really understood why. But once Law tells Luffy, I, as the viewer, will also be able to understand. I knew you secretly love One Piece? Yeah, that was off the top of the dome, dude. I watch every episode, bro. I know everything about One Piece. I pretend not to like it because I'm tsundere. Okay? I pretend not to love anime, but I fucking love anime. I'm one of you. We are all the same. We love anime together. It's us against the Bakas, okay? But I heard, this could be crazy, but I heard from Dan Clancy that he's like trying to crack down on anime lovers like us on this website. And he's going to put a thing where if you don't get a certain number of subscribers by the end of September, that he's going to shut down all the anime fans. So you might have to do your part and start subscribing so that we can hit the goal. Because if we hit 7,500 subscribers, then we have too much strength for him to ignore. And we can push back against Dan Clancy's oppression. He wants to make everybody watch period dramas featuring real human beings instead of awesome animes. He wants us to watch like live action and sports ball shit. Okay? First they came for the weebs and I did not speak. End of poem. Scene. Line. Arch 265, thank you for the fucking 5 gifted. Much appreciated. We're gonna defend anime together, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. You are a soldier in Luffy's army. You know what I'm saying? We get that reference. They don't. Okay. We are part of an internal club that's gonna push back against Clancy's oppression. Okay? We are all Nakama on this blessed day. Holy. Dude, I'm into One Piece and you're making me cringe. It makes me cringe too, thinking of what Dan Clancy wants to do to us. It makes me cringe too, brother. Thank you for your long time sub. I appreciate that. It really infuriates me. It makes me at the edge of my rope, honestly. Atrioc, I just migrated from YouTube. First time using Twitch chat. Holy fuck, how do you read this chat? Like this. I pull it up with magic. Whoosh, and I pull it on the screen and I can read it. It's not your job to read the chat. It's mine, and I don't do it. So don't worry about it. Don't fucking worry about it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do shit. What is this? Speaking of One Piece. Oh, wait, this is great. I'll put this in there. I'll put this in the slides. I'll put this like this. This is funny. Good clip. Hey, Chuck, just watch your recent vids. Seems like every country is dying. Is anyone doing good right now? Italy, India, Texas? Texas is the country that you think is doing good. Amen, brother. I don't think my takeaway is that it's dying. I would say that many countries are going through the end of a cycle that is resulting in a lot of change and fracture and political dissatisfaction and economic dissatisfaction. But obviously the Nordic countries, as per usual, are pretty good. They're doing pretty well. They still have their own problems, by the way, right now. But they're smaller in comparison, and they're more stable, and they're more prepared. Clancyville, unfortunately, is doing pretty well because of crackdowns. So we need to invade Sweden? That's sort of what I'm saying, yeah. Yeah. Mexico's economy is doing pretty well. Like, it's growing. They're a beneficiary of a lot of, like, nearshoring to put factories in North America to get around the tariffs. I would say that Mexico's not hard to claim they're doing well. They're seeing some improvement, but it's hard to say they're doing well. And I will say that a lot of how do I put this? So you guys know the country Yugoslavia. In the 60s and 70s, Yugoslavia was considered like a real success story. And it was like, yeah, they have like this very generous welfare state, and they have market economy mixed with that's working. And then right around the end of the 70s, it was sort of revealed that all of that was based on debt. Like, they were just borrowing. Like, the country didn't produce enough to afford what they were doing. They were just borrowing. And so the debt ran out. They couldn't borrow anymore. And so there was this big collapse. And then it led to like, really tough times in Yugoslavia that led to internal strife and wars and splitting. So it's tough to say. I think Mexico is also right now running a pretty generous government subsidy program that they can't currently afford. They don't have the tax revenue to afford it. So it's kind of like you're just giving people better times now for worse times later. So it's but everyone's doing that. I'm just saying it happened more quickly there. The boomer strategy, yeah, we'll talk about it. Well, if you watch Lemonade Stand tomorrow, we really go into it. We really go into it. I'm Mexican, and that's the first time I've heard a good description. So am I. Half Latino, baby. La Raza, brother. Honorary. Grandfathered in. Your boomer bashing is saving my buddy from the right-wing pipeline. You're doing God's work. Dude, everyone's got to hate someone, I guess. Everyone's got to hate someone. You just have to give them someone to hate. That's not really my goal, but whatever. Oh, I did see this. Holy, did you guys see this? It actually looks fucking cool. I need the video. Look at this.
And to help connect with those near you, We're bringing the magic of AirPods to the way you communicate across languages with live translation powered by Apple Intelligence. Now, when you are together with someone who speaks a different language, like exploring a market abroad, AirPods Pro will help you understand them in your preferred language. Using a new simple gesture, live translation begins. Translating Spanish, while ANC lowers the volume of the person's...
Dude, it's crazy. It like lowers their voice like a documentary. Like when someone's talking in a documentary and it mutes them and then does the translation over.
Speaking. So it's easier to focus on the translation.
Hola, bienvenida.
Hi.
Hoy todos los claveles.
Hello, welcome. Today, all the red carnations are 50% off. And it does...
That's kind of crazy. It's like a real life dub. So, the way they respond back is pretty goofy. Like it's
just translate individual words. The meaning of each phrase is translated for you. When you need to talk, just speak naturally.
I'd love to take some of these to my sister for her birthday. I'll buy 8, please.
Your iPhone displays your...
Like you have to like hold up your phone. Like, I'd love to take some of these to my sister, and you're like holding the phone up there. So I think the response back is goofy, but a world where two people in different languages both have live translation headphones, doesn't have to be AirPods, whatever. I think people are saying the buds do this too. Would be cool because you could have a roughly natural conversation, which is like pretty sick. It's like kind of like that would be the dream. That would break down some barriers, some language barriers.
Your words in their language and can even read them out loud if needed.
Vale.
Live translation is even more useful when both people are wearing AirPods Pro.
Oh, I didn't see this part, but that's what I'm saying.
I agree, yeah. Let's include the
Eu concordo, sim. Vamos incluir as principais descobertas na apresentação de sexta-feira.
Com certeza. O cliente vai adorar ver isso.
Definitely. The client will love that. I'll let the strategy team know to prepare that immediately.
Dude, and what's extra great is if you can program your AirPods somehow to just, you say gibberish, and they have ChatGPT auto-translate it something a real smart person would say. So you can just sit there and eat your food and ignore the person and then go blah, 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 and then it handles the whole conversation for you. So we can focus on the real important thing in life, which is shoveling food into our gullet. That would be awesome. Aiden's buying 2 for sure. Bro, 100%. Aiden is going to buy, he buys every Apple product anyway. He's going to buy a separate one. And then when he gets into Ubers in a foreign country, he's going to hand them the AirPods. He's going to say, I bought you a pair, plug them in so we can talk. 100 fucking percent he's going to do that. Doesn't this just increase inequality? Degrowther caveman, when he sees Grog invent fire, doesn't this just increase inequality? What, you're going to get warm meat and us fucking people in this cave are not going to get anything? I have to eat fucking cold meat while you are out there with fucking warm meat? Not everybody has 2 rocks, Grog. Pro tip, ask this to your boss every day. How are we supposed to get out of tickets pretending not to speak English? The cop handing you the AirPods so you could explain why you were going 115 in the school zone? It's because I had to get to an MKBHD shoot. Okay, I'm part of his team. He demands excellence. The AirPods mistranslating to me admitting fault. That is one thing, though. The software, if it's not reliable, you could like a phrase could be mistranslated or like be an idiom that doesn't sound right, and you're gonna be like, I don't know. These flowers look beautiful today, and it's gonna translate to like your wife is really hot, or whatever. It's gonna lead to some fucking crossed wire, at least some fights, dude. It's gonna lead to fucking arguments. L Van Dragon, they've been 31 months. Or it may lead to awesome threesomes. Okay. Okay, dude. Relax. Okay, let's quick watch, and then we'll do the Nepal presentation. Let's see what the fuck is going on with this Epstein birthday book. By the way, I have to say it. Coffeezilla's haircut looks good. Good for him. Looks sharp. World's foremost Epstein journalist, Coffeezilla. He's got a sharp haircut. I got to give respect where respect is due. Okay?
Jeffrey Epstein birthday book got released, 238 pages.
There's already new information. I only have seen this one. I've only seen...
Today, the Jeffrey Epstein birthday book...
This. We talked about this yesterday. There's 234 more pages I don't fucking know about. So let's see.
Book got released, 238 pages of letters to Jeffrey Epstein. Most of them are about sex. If you remember, we
I gotta say, it is kind of sad as someone who feels like I have like, a pretty healthy amount of friends that I really like and family that I really like in my life. I feel like I don't feel like I'm hurting for more friends or whatever. I've never gotten a birthday book with 200 pages of fawning letters from... Why is Jeffrey Epstein the most loved man I've ever seen? He's Jeffrey fucking Epstein. Who the fuck? Why is he getting a birthday book with 234 loving... I'm quite sure on my birthday I got like, a couple fucking Facebook posts from family and a couple DMs saying happy birthday. That's crazy.
extensively covered the Wall Street Journal scoop that Jeffrey Epstein's friends put together letters commissioned by Ghislaine Maxwell, and one of those letters included Donald Trump, although they also included Alan Dershowitz, Lex Wexner, Bill Clinton, Leon Black. Now, in response, Trump sued the Wall Street Journal over $10 billion, which also means he sued Rupert Murdoch, the guy who runs Fox News, the New York Post, Sky News. And this is all because Donald Trump denied everything and said, I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It's not my language. It's not my words. Here's his official response. He sued them, of course. And then, of course, we found out that he does draw pictures, turns out, and signs his name on them. But the really important update was that the New York Times corroborated that Trump's name was on the Epstein birthday book, and specifically, the Epstein estate had it in their possession, and we're going to turn it over. And today, that's exactly what...
I saw it. I think it's so funny. The idea that... because this was found with the Epstein estate. So the idea that Obama forged this and then smuggled it into the Epstein estate and then left it there to be found later after Epstein was in 2003, so that later, 20 years later, when Epstein is caught and jailed, they would take that from his estate. I mean, that is diabolical from Obama.
Happened, or the House committee released it to the public. Now, I want to be clear, although a lot of talk today is going to be spent on this drawing, it's far from the only one. Really, the reason this is such a big story is the blatant denial by the president, saying just it never happened, which is the weird thing, because, of course, he was friends with Epstein and Ghislaine. Everybody admits that, including Trump. It's just the letter itself. He's saying, no way it happened. That's not me. I don't do it. So that's the reason there's a lot of focus on the president. But let's be clear, this book is about a lot more than just the president. There's a lot of powerful people implicated in this. This is the start of it. You see, it's a leather-bound book written by Ghislaine Maxwell. There are redactions to third parties. Some of the friends mentioned is Ron Altbach, Leon Black, Jean-Luc Brunel, Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, Bill Elkis, Bran Frennan, Nick Leese, Peter Mandelson, George Mitchell, Nathan Myhrvold, and the list goes on and on, notably also Leslie Wexner, Donald Trump. And this is all available online. Like, there's no denying that this exists. You can see it has a bunch of never-before-released pictures of Epstein.
So is the idea that this whole book is fake? And every one of these people was faked into it? Or this is all real and they included 20 years ago Donald Trump as a fake? Everyone else put these letters in, but then... Oh, he says that? I'm sorry.
Mandelson, George Mitchell, Nathan Myhrvold, and the list goes on and on, notably also Leslie Wexner, Donald Trump. And this is all available online. Like, there's no denying that this exists. You can see it has a bunch of never-before-released pictures of Epstein, his family, things like that. There are redactions of certain women in the pictures in compromising positions, but otherwise, mostly unredacted, honestly. I'm pretty impressed with how much we got of the famous birthday book. And it is full of revelations. I think the most obvious one is that all of Jeffrey's friends, or most of them, were aware of his interests. They talked extensively about how much he loves the ladies, the young ladies. But there's also an interesting mention of his Vanity Fair profile. This is from Leon Black, where he calls him a Vanity Fair poster child. And that is soon followed by Alan Dershowitz's alleged letter, where he says, "Dear Jeffrey, as a birthday gift to you, I managed to obtain an early version of the Vanity Unfair article. I talked them into changing the focus from you to Bill Clinton, as you will see in the enclosed excerpt. Happy birthday and best regards." What makes this so interesting is what he's referring to, I believe, is a 2003 profile on Jeffrey Epstein. The article is called "The Talented Mr. Epstein" by Vicky Ward, and it's sort of become famous for the fact that now there's been this meta commentary about how Vicky Ward had early allegations of abuse by Epstein and was not able to run them. She accuses the paper of not running them. There's some dispute over this. Vicky Ward basically says she had two women who presented allegations. By early December, weeks before the article closed, in mid-December, she was discussing the farmers with fact checkers, and they were looking for photos. Ultimately, the editor said he didn't trust her. He didn't want...
Wait, I'm sorry. So Vicky Ward works for Vanity Fair. She has a profile on Epstein, and during the course of the reporting, she finds credible accusations that he is abusing women in some way. She writes the profile, and they just cut the abuse part? But what did the rest say? Jeffrey Epstein is a charming New York socialite, except for the fact that he may be credibly assaulting young women. What did she write in the... And then the editor just cut that last part?
To run those allegations. But now that we have this backstory, I mean, that's all things that have been public for a long time. That has been a big question. Why was this article killed? Well, now we have in this book a discussion of this killed article. And by the way, when you look at what Alan Dershowitz is saying, they changed the focus to from you to Bill Clinton. We do see that Bill Clinton shows up in this article. So the timeline really does match up. Over and over, his friends seem to be joking.
Can I read the beginning of this article? Lately, Jeffrey Epstein's high-flying style has been drawing oohs and ahs. The bachelor financier lives in New York's largest private residence, claims to take only billionaires as clients, and flies celebrities including Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey on his Boeing 727. But pierce his air of mystery and the picture changes. Vicky Ward explores Epstein's investment career, his ties to retail magnate Leslie Wexner, and his complicated past. Okay. So they did publish this article, but it didn't include the allegations. Kevin Spacey and Bill Clinton, by the way, wow.
Oh, the timeline really does match up. Over and over, his friends seem to be joking about an article where allegations almost ran about Jeffrey Epstein and ultimately did not. Most of them seem to be very well aware he likes the ladies, he likes them young. So I hope this finally puts to bed the lone trafficker theory that everyone was going to him for tax advice. But of course, we also need to talk about Donald Trump's letter. And unfortunately, this is where the response gets a lot more polarizing. Depending on where you sit on the aisle, people have been having all sorts of reactions to this, with a lot of people saying, okay, well, then case closed. He wrote it, right? Like, obviously, he was friends with the guy. Everybody else in there aren't there denying writing these letters. He wrote it. His signature's on here. But the official press secretary at the White House said that, once again, it is false. They're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, saying, as I've said all along, it's very clear President Trump did not draw this picture. He did not sign it. Trump's legal team
Bro, isn't she like 26 years old? She wasn't even born when this fucking letter was written, or she's like 1 year old. Why is she so confident? She's so fucking confident, as I've said all along.
Continue to aggressively pursue litigation. And then you have this guy who's the deputy White House chief of staff saying, time for News Corp to open that checkbook. It's not his signature. Defamation. And then they screenshot some photos of Donald Trump signing his name and saying, look, it's not the same signature. And you know what? That's pretty true. It's not the same signature. We'll get to that, because at the same time that was getting released, they were denying, oh, look at these signatures that are different. We also had the New York Times and Wall Street Journal also put out signature comparisons with some different signature choices that look very similar. This is the official Epstein one right here. Here's a letter to Bill Gates. Here's a letter to New York City officials.
I'm sorry, but it's fucking crazy we even have to go through this. It's so obviously him, dude. I feel like this is so stupid. This is dumb. It's so obvious. Nobody planted a book 23 years ago full of other letters everyone admits to writing with your signature that's same as the one from the same time. Like, this is so stupid. Yes, it's your letter. What's weird is, like, while the letter is creepy and strange, it's not like, hey, I'm a pedophile. You know, it isn't, you're not guilty of a crime for having written it. And he already admitted to being friends with him back then. So I don't know why he doesn't just say, yeah, I wrote it. I didn't know what a creepy was. It's wild.
Rudy Giuliani. Here's another New York City official. And then we also have letters to Conway, to Clinton. And you have this kind of textbook long trail, a very tight vertical signature. I mean, to me, that's pretty compelling. Unless we're arguing for a professional forgery job here, which I don't think has even been alleged. Like, this is nearly identical, all these signatures. Like, I would believe that is all within the realm of the regular differences in a signature, right? It's not some completely different signature we've never seen before. But it didn't take long for people to take up what the White House's official statement is saying, because influencers have now run with it, saying, does the below look like the actual signature from the president? I don't think so at all. Fake. Showing once again that, yes, the president has at various times signed signatures differently, of course. I don't think anyone disputes that. And sure, you can find some signatures that look different. Here's Eric Daughtery saying, the Wall Street Journal has just published that letter Trump sent to Epstein. It's not even his signature. Defamation, pay up. This guy says Trump is going to bankrupt Wall Street Journal. Benny Johnson says time to sue them into oblivion, which again is crazy because the guy they're talking about, they're suing, is also like one of their biggest allies, Rupert Murdoch, the guy who runs Fox News. I mean, it's definitely infighting at best. Now, of course, we got to read the message again now that we actually have it in its full context. We have voiceover, gross. Must be more to life than having everything. Yes, there is. I won't tell you what it is, nor will I. Since I know what it is, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it. We all know this. And then the famous line, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. So, look, there's also...
It's so fucking devious the way Obama wrote it, dude. It's so fucking devious because it's like a breadcrumb on the way. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't outright say, hey, Jeffrey Epstein, I'm a pedophile, but it implies it so strongly. Like, he really fucking cooked. He really had fire pen when he was like, he knew exactly how to push it right to the line. The only mistake he made was almost perfectly copying Donald Trump's signature at the bottom. That's where Obama fucked up. He studied Donald Trump's signature thousands of times, but obviously he didn't perfectly line it up with some examples that are different. And that's how he found the flaw in Obama's fucking master plan. That's how he almost got away with it. He used
an analysis put together by the Wall Street Journal, the people who originally reported this. I think that's worth going over. They decided to look at various times that Donald Trump has expressed similar writing. For example, they talk about Trump talking in the third person. They say, look, here's video clips of him talking about himself in the third person. It's not weird for him to do that. There's also word choices of enigma. They point out that he's used enigma multiple times in books. We've also covered him saying it in video. Then there's also a wonderful thing. A pal is a wonderful thing. That's the line. Well, has he said that before? Yes, he's definitely said that before.
They went all
So
out.
all in all, the reporting seems solid to me. I mean, you can hold on to the copium here, but really you're arguing that the entire book is either all fake, which that's the first option, in which case, it may be the greatest forgery of all.
Dude, what an insane... 20 years before anything happens to fake a 250-page book of letters from all people who can verify it, plus photographs from his childhood. That's crazy, dude. That's Obama's masterpiece. What an incredible CIA-level forgery.
Time. Or you're saying specifically that it's just the Trump part that's a forgery, and every other part, the part where Bill Clinton's writing in, the part where all these other people we knew that were also associated with Epstein were writing in.
Dude, when Obama faked
a forgery, and every other part, the part where Bill Clinton's writing in, the part where all these other people we knew that were all.
Obama faked the chocolate chip cookie recipe to make the whole book look more real. When Obama cooked that up, threw the map in, and faked that to make sure this 250-page book looked more real. That was fucking incredible. He was thinking so smart.
Also associated with Epstein were writing in. You're saying all of that's real, but the part about Donald Trump is not. And that was a forgery inserted in. So it's a very strange argument. And because this was all a carefully bound book, the idea that it was just inserted in, it couldn't really have been. It was bound by a specific bookbinder. So, I think it's all credible. I mean, personally, I look at the facts. I look at what we know of the various people, how this all unfolded, the fact that it came from the estate we thought it would come from, the fact it included a variety of politicians, powerful people. It wasn't just singling out Trump, but Trump is the only one who has denied it. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the latest.
Is that on purpose? Putting Mike Johnson's head on this body. Dude, put it somewhere else. What the fuck is that?
One who has denied it. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the latest statement by our government. We all know the various stages of grief we've been through with this story. First, it was a cover-up. Then they're going to release everything. Then there's nothing to release. Then it's a hoax. And now we have a new level of copium. We are descending into Davy Jones' locker level of copium. And here we have it. This is from Speaker Mike Johnson.
He is horrified. It's been misrepresented. He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
Wow. Donald Trump was an FBI informant, according to Speaker Mike Johnson. So all of this birthday book stuff, all of this was actually, if you believe...
Does he include the part? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Because Mike Johnson backtracked on that. Mike Johnson said, I was speaking out of... He pulled back. He was like, nah, I didn't mean FBI informants. What do I know? I don't know. He backtracked.
government.
I wasn't
there. It was
there.
part of an official plot to capture Jeffrey Epstein, the world's most notorious.
He said, "Not really my lane."
This whole photo. But now, I guess we're so deep undercover, we can't cop to it yet. We can't admit we have the entire government running cover for us with influencers.
It's like such an obvious lie. And also it implicates Trump in a way because you wouldn't be an informant unless you were involved in doing it. And so, yeah, he just pulled me. He's like, "Nah, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it." Which is just crazy that the Speaker of the House of our fucking country can say the president was an FBI informant to stop pedophiles and then later be like, "Nah, I didn't mean it." Why'd you fucking say it? Why did you fucking say it? What was your thought process? Was it part of a fucking planned lie?
Telling people, oh, it's not his signature, even though there very clearly are signatures that look identical. So it's crazy. I just hope our glorious president can one day come out of his FBI informant role and tell us all how he took down the world's most notorious. I can't wait for that one. That big one. Maybe he can write us a letter about it.
Yeah. Well, good video, Coffeezilla. I didn't know about the rest of that book. That's crazy. That shit was crazy. I mean, Obama cooked that shit up. Obama was chefing up on the stove. Some heinous lies take down Donald J. Trump. But they couldn't take him down because he speaks the truth. What's this? Here's a VH1 segment on Jeffrey Epstein from 2006.
Next. Righteous gives me
That's it.
anything gathered in to the boy.
Cool. Oh my God. That was bigger in 2007. Not Jeffrey Epstein worship, but like, just this person has a lot of stuff and it's cool. I think in 2000, before the Great Recession, everyone thought they were just moments away from being that rich. Before 2008, most Americans thought, I'm about 10 years from being that rich. And then after 2008, everyone kind of kind of want to know Chris Tucker's thoughts on releasing the list. Hey, me too. Me too. Chris was FBI. Chris was FBI, dude. He was undercover. You take that badge and shove it up your ass. I'm LAPD. That's what he probably said. He's probably LAPD undercover. I bet Jackie Chan was on the wing. Jackie Chan was on the fucking wing, and they were working together to try and take down fucking Epstein. They were teaming up. Carter, let me in. I swear to God, it was Rush Hour 4. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan on Epstein Island would be such a fire Rush Hour movie. Please don't ever take your script writing talents to Hollywood. Please, 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 please. Rush Hour peaked at 4. There wasn't a fourth one, right? Rush Hour 3 was so bad. I hate to say it because Zoomers love it because they're too young to enjoy Rush Hour 1 and 2 as they should. Rush Hour 3 is terrible. And I don't know if Rush Hour 4 ever existed. Wait, Rush Hour 4? Oh, it doesn't exist. It's a fucking AI trailer. God damn, the internet is so fucking slop now. How many views does this have? 500K!
This city will be mine. So you better get out of my way. It's my last warning.
Mel Gibson?
Step in the arena. We ain't
What is this guy thinking?
Step into the ring.
Let's show him who is the boss.
Games. I can hear the crowd.
We can't lose this time.
Say my name.
People depend on us. And on my peace. His people are everywhere.
You don't have enough power to stop me.
We will see.
I can't believe this has more views than like 80% of every videos I ever made. This has more views than 80% of most of the work I've ever done. This is the most sloppiest slop of all slop.
These are your last days on this earth.
I can't lose you, Lee.
Is that supposed to be Chris Tucker saying I can't lose you, Lee?
I can't lose you, Lee.
Who did the VO on that?
Not on my watch.
So bad. It's so fucking bad. Not on my watch. Damn, that's terrible. Soon. Soon. That being said, I'd still see Rush Hour 4 if it came out, because I love Rush Hour 1 and 2 so much. Slop enjoyer? I guess you could say that. Rush Hour 2 is a comfort movie for me? Rush Hour 2 is so fucking funny. I love Rush Hour 2. My brother always quotes it, but I can't remember the quote. He always talks about, oh, I'll never remember what he says. He's always like, he quotes the stupid casino owner. He tells the dragon story. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. If anyone knows Rush Hour 2 really well, but it's like there was a great dragon. I don't fucking know. The point is my brother knows that speech word for word. Yeah, greed consumes us all. Something like that. He does it he can pull the whole speech out at a moment's notice whenever I do anything greedy in Las Vegas. Yeah, the greed consumes us all. Wait. This one. I can't find it. Anyway, it's cinema. I hate that fortune cookie shit. I love that fucking movie. Yeah, he stabs him. I hate that fortune cookie shit. I fucking love that movie, dude. Rush Hour 2. It's a banger. Okay, so now let's talk about Nepal. I need to talk about Nepal in a second here. Okay. Let's talk about Nepal. Wait, one second. They have a cool flag. That's true. That is true. 1 second. And then I'm going to play Silk Song. Low-key bedazzled Stanley flex. My wife got this for me at a garage sale. It is a bedazzled Los Angeles Laker It's not a Stanley. I don't. This is the fucking. But it's fucking cool. These are all real diamonds. This cup is worth $1.4 million. Okay? It's one of my most prized possessions. It was hand bedazzled by LeBron James himself. It cost me everything. That's weird. LeBron just said he was missing his Stanley Cup. Oops. I guess he shouldn't make his walls so easy to scale. Okay. Listen. I want to talk about Nepal because it's interesting not only for the Nepalese, but for the rest of the world. You guys know how Gen Z's always on their phones, right? You guys know how Gen Z, they're always on their phones. Gen Z always be's like, I want to be on my phone instead of doing things. I'm always looking at my phone instead of experiencing things. Okay? Well, now, apparently, Gen Z's not only on their phones, but in Nepal, they are mass protesting. It is the world's first Gen Z protest. It's being called the Gen Z protest all over the world. And you'd expect, when you see a Gen Z protest, that it'd have something to do with phones and probably something to do with anime. Okay? Well, one part is true. One part is true, and maybe the second part is also true, but we'll get to that. But before I go into what the Gen Z protest would actually look like, which is a lot less like this and a lot more like this. An actual uprising changing the fate of their nation. I need to give you a little bit of background because you probably aren't super aware on the context. Okay, this is Nepal. It is a small state in the Himalayas, kind of a buffer state between the two big countries and economies of China and India. Okay? Zoomed out a little bit, you can see it here. Okay? Nepal between China and India in the Himalayas. Okay? And what's interesting about Nepal is that you might expect, being sandwiched between two bigger empires like China and India with thousands of years of history, that it would have been subsumed by one of them over the course of its history. You'd think it'd be part of a larger empire. Like, why is Nepal its own state? Why isn't it part of China or part of India? So if you go back, it's pretty interesting to look at. This is India in the years prior to the British takeover of India, when it was a group of smaller states. Actually, hundreds of smaller states, but these are the main ones. Okay? Nepal was still on its own. And then a few years later, after Britain essentially colonized India, Nepal was still on its own. Nepal was the only part that did not get taken over by Britain. Why was that? They fought a war. There was the Anglo-Nepalese War. And while Britain technically on paper won this war, it was so costly fighting the Nepalese in the mountains, and the cost benefit of trying to keep it up and conquer the actual territory was so bad that Britain said, okay, you can keep your own state. You can just you're separate. You still have to respond to our authority, but you get to be your own country. So they were able to hold out against Britain at the height of British power, which is pretty incredible. And then, so this is before Britain came in. I was like, well, what about before this? Because India wasn't always a series of smaller states. What about the Mughal Empire before that? So I went back even farther in time to the Mughal Empire, which is the last time India was like nearly fully united. And even then, they couldn't conquer the Himalayan states, aka modern Nepal. Okay? Even then, they tried, and the Himalayan states, modern Nepal, used the mountainous advantage. Again, technically kind of lost the war, but didn't lose their sovereign territory. Again, and in between the Mughal Empire and the British conquering, also the other side of this map, China. Well, they wanted Nepal, and there was the Sino-Nepal War. Guess what happened again? Guess what happened again? There was a big war. China technically won yet again, but it was so costly they couldn't actually take the territory. And again, Nepal ended up keeping the territory. So 3 separate times, much bigger empires have tried to conquer Nepal, and every time the mountains have allowed them to maintain their independence. And now it's been hundreds of years, they have been basically an independent territory. So that the history of Nepal is actually quite fascinating and pretty impressive. So they're a proud nation. The proud nation of Nepal has refused to be conquered again and again and again. But a different kind of war they have finally lost recently. And that is the war on poverty. The war on economics. Poverty and economics have basically won in Nepal. Over 20% of Nepal's 30 million people live in poverty. Okay? The unemployment rate among young people stood at more than 22%. Over 1 in 5 young people cannot find a job even when looking for them. Also interesting, the richest 10% earn more than 3 times the income of the poorest 40%. That made me laugh because that's not that bad. That's not that bad. Just for context, in America, the richest 10% earn more than 26 times the bottom 40%. But, you know, the bottom 40% have a higher overall than in Nepal. So, but yeah, the richest are only 3 times richer in Nepal. So now we're back to modern day with the Nepalese Gen Z protests that are going on right now. That gives you some context though, okay? Proud nation currently succumbing to a rising increase in poverty and unemployment. Now, if you were to guess, why would Gen Z most of all protest? Would it have something to do with their phones? Jokingly, yes. Jokingly, yes. Part of it is, of course, the poverty. But what kicked it off is when they tried to take away the phones from Gen Z, because there was a social media ban that blocked Facebook, X, and YouTube, addition to Reddit, Signal, Snapchat, and I guess LinkedIn, which is the first time someone has ever rioted because they can't access LinkedIn. But of course, there is much more to this. There is much more to this. So I want to give a little bit further context. So again, let's say going into this year, the economy in Nepal, very bad. Youth unemployment, very high. People upset. Additionally, people in Nepal, especially young people, are starting to notice there is a big wealth gap among young people who are connected to government figures. Your rich politicians and their families are posting on social media absurd displays of wealth. This is an example I found from hashtag Nepo Baby, which trended in Nepal. Okay? This is getting thousands of posts from Nepalese citizens. Anger was brewing. So they noticed that while they make only barely over $2,000 a year, some rich family members were posting images of them with Louis Vuitton Christmas trees. Okay? All the public fund and tax money are making their lifestyle luxurious. Meanwhile, poor citizens are working day and night for them. This stuff started to go viral. It started to get bigger and bigger. People were getting angrier and angrier as they noticed how much these Nepo babies were living large off of the public dime. This woman posted, this is in Nepalese, but I have the English here. Working like a donkey every day in foreign land just so I can fund Nepali Nepo babies to build Louis Vuitton Christmas trees. And I can't even speak with our family. So this is an article from days ago before everything kicked off into high gear. Wealthy Nepo kids are a source of outrage. So this started to pick up and the government got scared because they were being criticized and their families being criticized over and over on social media. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so suddenly the government had a reason to want to crack down on social media because they were being exposed for, again, using public goods to get their family wealthy. Thousands of videos started trending across Nepal's digital ecosystem. The contrast between elite privilege and everyday hardship struck a deep chord with Gen Z and quickly became a central narrative driving the movement. So now Gen Z's angry. And what's really interesting is that it may have just stayed as online anger. Again, the main thing that Gen Z in Nepal was doing to strike back against the oppressive Nepo babies in government is they were doing like mass unfollows. When social media was still up, it kind of contained their anger. They were posting TikToks and they were doing mass unfollows. But then the government had the very short-sighted and very stupid idea to try and shut down social media, which removed the very last outlet that Gen Z had to get the word out and to like be angry about it. So once they got rid of social media, posts like this started going around in the few areas people could still access. Everyone got a VPN very quickly, by the way. I found one of these comments. Guys, let's protest on 8th September in front of Parliament. Like, these posts started to go viral of people saying, hey, let's go in person. They started organizing in person instead of on social media. And then the protests went from online like this to in person like this. And suddenly the fight became very real. Suddenly the youth of Nepal were no longer just posting about being angry. They were physically very angry. And they wanted change because, again, they are living in poverty. They are seeing their wages not rise. They are seeing corruption from the government. And now they are organizing and acting for change. So the leader of Nepal, this prime minister here, Khadija Prasad Ali, who has done 4 terms in a row and is, of course, you guessed it, 73, a classic boomer. Also the head of the Communist Party of Nepal, which for all the inequality and corruption is a little off message, has run Nepal for 4 years. And Oli. And after the riots showed up at his front door, resigned in disgrace. Okay? He resigned in disgrace and fled. So now in the aftermath, there is nobody in power. Nobody has stepped up to take his position. Part of that was because Parliament was literally burning. And part of it was because in his first attempt to crack down on the student protests, he pushed the police towards violence and they killed 19 unarmed students. They killed 19 unarmed students. So now everyone's even angrier. Now they're even angrier. Additionally, they hoped they could get back control by rolling back the ban. After all the protests have taken off, everyone's like, well, okay, you can have social media back, Gen Z. It turns out that did nothing. It turns out it was way, way, way too late. It did nothing to quell the anger among young people who continued the protest. The Gen Z protest continued. So now they're asking not only for, again, their end of corruption, justice for the people who died. Actually, I'm sorry, not only the end of the corruption and social media back, but now they want justice for people who died. They want a criminal investigation for use of deadly force against protesters. This is not just the death of 19 youths, it's murder. The government hands are stained with blood, and they cannot escape accountability this time. Gen Z will not stop now. This protest is about more than just social media. It's about silencing our voices, and we won't let that happen. Now, again, what's interesting is we're seeing prime ministers fall all over the world. But in some nations, like France or Japan, it is done with a graceful stepping down with a vote because they still have some semblance of normality. But when the situation of poverty has gotten so bad as it has in Nepal, again, all governments are only a few steps away from this outright public violent anger. People are deeply, deeply upset at seeing their opportunities squandered away for the benefit of very few. It does feel very Fourth Turning-esque. Now, I don't want to act like, though, again, I have to be honest and realistic in this reporting here. This is happening live. Right now, as we speak, the situation in Nepal is chaotic. Student protests are sweeping the country. There is nobody stepping up to fill the power vacuum after the prime minister stepped down. And usually, in the real world, what happens next can be very violent and very chaotic. I don't want to pretend like, oh, and now the story will end happily ever after. In human history, Usually right after student protests lead to crazy change, like a general will step in and fill the power gap. Usually the military steps in and does a brutal crackdown. Like, a lot of things could go very wrong in Nepal. The likelihood that the student organizers are so organized that they have a real list of demands and can facilitate those in a positive change way, I'm hopeful for, but it's unlikely. The power vacuum will get filled. Whether it's done in a positive way or a negative way is entirely up to, how the Nepalese people handle it. But right now, seemingly no one is in charge. Protesters are calling for accountability and reforms in governments. And if they get that, it will be great. But we'll have to follow up and see what happens next, because there is a likelihood that the military tries to seize control or someone else. But I do admire, I have to say, I do admire the courage of the Gen Z protesters in Nepal to finally do something about what is a clearly broken system that has been letting them down so severely. What happens next, we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. Okay, little update on what's going on there. It is fascinating. Yeah, I do believe the casualties have updated, but I couldn't get a verification on that, so I kept it at 19. Someone is in chat trying to add you to the Discord call where they're choosing new leadership. What? What? Don't get me on. What am I going to fucking pick? Do not get me on this. Bro, it's too important for me to be in there. No, I don't want to be in there. Guys, you guys think I want fucking the scoop or the views over all else. I do not. I would prefer Nepal I don't want to turn into a fucking show. I'm not trying to. No, dude. I don't. That's not what I want to do. I do not want to make it about me in any way. That's fucking. That's crass. People are dying, dude. It's actually not that cool. Anyway, the death toll has risen to 22, and troops are moving in to restore order. But who's leading the troops? Oh, listen to this. And listen, it reminds me, listen, we talk about this in Lemonade Stand tomorrow, which we recorded today, about the generational warfare. This is well-timed, I guess. The generational warfare that has been kind of brewing. And I just want to say, here, I'll leak one slide, because I think it's very relevant. I want to leak one slide. This is a slide from my Lemonade Stand presentation tomorrow. Does it open up if I do it like this? How do I? This one. Okay. This is the boomer leaders of the world. By the way, many are still missing, but the major ones. If you'll notice, the biggest economy in North America, the biggest economy in South America, the 4 biggest economies in Africa, the biggest economies in Europe, the biggest economies in Asia, Australia, are all led by boomers. The combined boomer leadership have like 80% of the world's GDP and like 75% of the world's population. We are all globally living under the fucking boomers. They have complete and total domination of the wealth and political power globally. And if they can't find a way for that to get down to regular people, not just Gen Z, but people outside of the boomers, there's going to be problems like Nepal all over. Maybe it'll take different forms. Maybe it'll be radical political parties, maybe whatever. But things will happen. It'll fracture and break. By the way, this is a boomer penguin. This guy's old as fuck and very backwards in his beliefs. He hoards all the fish. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a perfect indication in Nepal of like the feeling felt globally, especially as youth unemployment rises here in America and here in China and here in Russia. Well, actually, they're just dying in wars, but they're also it's rising all over. If people don't feel like they have a chance to get on the same ladder as their parents and grandparents had, they will freak out. They will continue to freak out. So we'll follow up. We'll follow up. I do want to see what happens in Nepal, and I'm hopeful for a non-violent, progressive outcome, like where the students are able to meet with representative government and get their demands met. But I just got to be honest. Historically, this type of stuff ends with crackdowns. Anyway, any hootie in the blowfish. I would like to now play Silk Song, I think. I think it's time for a little Shaw. There's only so much more I can say, and I do want to make progress before they nerf the bosses again. In case you didn't hear earlier, Silk Song did as I guessed, and they nerfed the early game bosses, but they only nerfed 2, and they're the ones I already beat. So I have to keep going to outrun the nerfs. I have to keep going to outrun the nerfs. Who did they nerf? Someone in chat knows the names. I don't really know the bosses. Glupshido and fucking Dirk Hardpeck. That's lame as fuck. I started going, yeah, I don't like the nerfs. I don't think they should nerf anything. I don't think they should give in to the whiners. But I knew it would happen once the reviews hit not overwhelmingly positive. Silk Song continues 100% blind playthrough. Outrunning the patch notes. Okay. Let's fucking continue.